Life, like a gently flowing river, often carries us without us realizing it. We are so busy with everyday challenges, with external demands, that we forget to look inside. But what if the real transformation happened the moment we decided to stop, breathe, and look inside ourselves? This is the first step in spiritual awakening, the recognition that true connection begins with you. Spiritual awakening is not something distant or mystical. It is not reserved for a chosen few, but is a process accessible to everyone. It's about awakening to our true essence, to who we really are, beyond external labels and expectations. What does awakening really mean? Often, it's just a break from the busyness of life, where we can finally listen to our soul. Let's reflect on this together. How many times have you felt disconnected from yourself? How many times have you felt like you were just going through life without really living? What's missing for you to feel more connected with yourself, with others, and with the universe? Begin to realize that spiritual awakening doesn't happen all at once. It is a gradual process, often imperceptible but always present, waiting to be recognized. And this process begins with the simple act of connecting with the present moment. When we allow ourselves to be present, we are actually creating space for what is essential: inner silence. The moment we take this break, we open the doors to a new way of seeing life. This pause is like a deep breath, which connects us with our inner self. By taking a moment to observe your own thoughts and feelings, you begin to realize that you are more in tune with your essence than you ever imagined. But how do you start creating this connection? First, remember, it all starts with presence. Being present means being aware of every breath, every sensation, every thought. It demands nothing from you other than your own attention. From that point on, you begin to realize that your life, like that of everyone around you, is a complex web of energies, emotions, and experiences connected by something greater. Now, look at what is around you. Every person you meet, every moment of interaction carries a unique opportunity to awaken to a deeper connection. When you recognize that everyone is a reflection of a greater energy, you begin to realize that the connections you create are not only external, but also internal. The path to creating deep connections begins with the ability to be in tune with yourself. As you cultivate this inner awareness, it becomes easier to connect with others. This connection doesn't need to be forced. It comes naturally when you are at peace with yourself. This awakening process also involves liberation. We often hold on to old ideas about who we are or what we should be. Spiritual awakening requires us to let go of these limiting concepts and surrender to the flow of life, allowing our true essence to reveal itself. This is one of the biggest challenges, but also one of the biggest blessings, learning to trust the process, even when the answers are not immediate. One way to start releasing these blocks is to practice letting go. This can be done in a number of ways, from the simple act of letting go of negative thoughts to releasing relationships and situations that no longer serve your well-being. The more you let go, the more space you create for true connection, both with yourself and others. However, this journey of awakening does not happen in isolation. It is a constant exchange of energy between you and the universe, between you and the people around you. On a deeper level, we are all connected. Every word you say, every action you take, influences the energy that circulates between you and others. You may then ask yourself, how can I deepen these connections? The answer is simple. Start with you. When you connect with your true essence, you also connect with the essence of others. From this solid foundation of self-knowledge, connections with others become deeper and more meaningful. For now, allow yourself to reflect on all of this. Breathe deeply and feel the present moment. Feel the peace that comes when you allow yourself to simply be. By creating this connection with yourself, you are taking the first step towards creating deep connections with others. This is what we call a spiritual awakening. An awakening that happens every moment, every breath, every genuine connection you make. When we talk about creating deep connections, we often think about relationships with others. We want to be understood, loved, and accepted. But for this to happen, we first need to look within ourselves and cultivate that inner connection. The truest connections begin within us, with our ability to be in harmony with who we are on a deep level. Have you ever stopped to think about what makes a connection truly deep? In our everyday lives, we are surrounded by superficial interactions, but along the spiritual journey, we learn to seek something more. We seek genuine contact, one that goes beyond words and gestures, that touches the soul. These connections do not happen by chance. They form when we are open and willing to expose ourselves in a vulnerable way. When we allow ourselves to be authentic, without the masks we usually wear, we are creating the environment for something deeper to flourish. This doesn't mean vulnerability is easy, but rather that it is the key to true connection. And the first, vulnerability is, of course, with ourselves. When you look within, you come face to face with the deepest, truest parts of who you are. And in doing so, you realize that the deepest connections don't require words, but rather a silent understanding, a shared presence. This can happen with a simple look, a smile, or even a gesture of support without needing explanations. These are the connections that truly transform us. This journey of self-discovery and vulnerability can be challenging. After all, we are used to hiding our weaknesses, masking our insecurities. But the moment we allow ourselves to be ourselves, without the fear of judgment, we create a safe space not only for ourselves but for others as well. And this is what truly connects us. Mutual trust, respect, and unconditional love. Spiritual awakening, then, is not just about finding a connection with the divine or the universe. It's about creating a deep connection with the human being that you are, and from that, with those who walk alongside you. This process takes us to a place where there is no separation, but rather unity. As we begin to see the people around us as reflections of our own essence, we begin to change the way we relate to them. Each person we meet on the path of life brings with them a lesson, a mirror that reflects us in different ways. The key to creating a deep connection with another person, then, is being able to see beyond superficial differences and perceive what is most genuine and pure within them. Have you ever stopped to think about how your perception of yourself affects your relationships? When we are at peace with ourselves, our energy is reflected in the interactions we have with others. And that doesn't mean we won't face challenges, but rather that we are able to approach them from a place of love and compassion, both for ourselves and others. As you progress on your spiritual awakening journey, you will realize that the deepest connections do not happen in a single moment, but are built over time. Every meaningful conversation, every act of kindness, every gesture of support is a cornerstone in creating a genuine connection with another. In our relationships, we often look for something that fulfills us, that completes us. But in reality, what we seek is a reflection of what already exists within us. When we are whole, when we feel complete with our own essence, the connections we create become even more powerful and deeper. Because when connecting with another person, we are not seeking to fill them, but simply sharing what is already present within us. This brings us to an important point. To create deep connections, we need to understand that there is no need for external search. Everything we look for in others already resides within us. The other is just a reflection of our own journey, our own joys, fears, and desires. When we see relationships this way, we begin to appreciate them more fully, without unrealistic expectations, but with a deeper understanding of what it means to connect with another. One of the greatest lessons we learn in spiritual awakening is that love, true connection, is unconditional. This means that to create deep bonds, we must be willing to offer love and acceptance regardless of imperfections, both ours and others. This love is not based on what the other can give us, but on what we are able to offer without expecting anything in return. How can you apply this to your life? How can you begin to cultivate true connection with those around you? The answer begins with the simple act of looking inside and realizing what you have to offer. When you are at peace with yourself and allow yourself to be authentic, you create the space necessary for deep connections to flourish, not just with you, but with everyone around you. In this moment of reflection, ask yourself, what are the barriers you have placed between yourself and others? What can you do to start creating a more genuine connection, without fear, without reservations? Spiritual awakening is, above all, an awakening to the truth, and the truth is that we are all deeply connected, even when we can't realize it. Now, breathe deeply and feel the presence of others around you, as well as your own essence. This is the power of creating deep connections. When you connect with your own truth, you also connect with the truth of everyone else. As we move towards our spiritual awakening, we begin to realize that the most significant transformations happen internally. The world around us is a direct reflection of how we are inside. Our emotions, thoughts, and actions create an energy that influences not only our lives, but also the lives of those around us. Imagine for a moment that your mind is like a mirror. What you see when you look into this mirror depends on the clarity and harmony with which it reflects. If the mirror is clouded by anger, fear, or insecurity, what you see reflected in it will be distorted. But as you work on your self-knowledge and inner peace, this mirror begins to reflect your true being, allowing you to see reality more clearly without the distortions caused by prejudices or negative emotions. This transformation process does not happen overnight. Inner change is an ongoing journey that requires patience, self-compassion, and commitment to yourself. But as you do this, you begin to notice that the situations and people around you also begin to change. This happens because, by transforming your internal energy, you are in fact creating a new vibrational field around you, which attracts new experiences and relationships. The deep connection you create with others is therefore a reflection of the transformation taking place within you. When you change, your way of seeing the world also changes. You begin to notice more positive qualities in people, see beauty in everyday life, and feel a more intense connection with the universe as a whole. What once seemed distant or unattainable now becomes a more tangible and accessible reality. This internal change can be seen as a form of spiritual cleansing. Imagine that, throughout our lives, we accumulate layers of thoughts, beliefs, and emotions that are no longer useful or true to who we really are. These layers can manifest as emotional or energetic blockages, creating barriers to our spiritual growth. Spiritual awakening, then, is a process of releasing these layers, allowing the light of our true essence to shine more clearly. A practice that can help a lot in this process is meditation. Meditation is a powerful tool for clearing your mind and connecting with your inner self. When you practice meditation, you create a space of silence where you can observe your thoughts without identifying with them. This allows you to begin to understand your emotions and reactions, releasing everything that no longer serves your growth. Another fundamental aspect of this inner transformation is the practice of gratitude. Gratitude has the power to change our perspective, because when we are grateful, we are recognizing the beauty and abundance that already exists in our lives. Instead of focusing on what is missing, we begin to notice what is already present. And this change in focus generates a feeling of fullness and connection with the universe. Gratitude not only improves our mental and emotional state, but it also connects us with the positive energy around us. Furthermore, the practice of self-care is essential in this transformation process. Taking care of yourself is not just a matter of physical well-being, but also about feeding your soul. This involves making time for what brings pleasure, peace, and joy, whether in nature, art, moments of silence, or activities that nourish your spirit. By giving yourself this space, you are allowing yourself to grow, heal, and reconnect with your true essence. As you transform internally, you begin to realize that relationships can also be transformed. We often look for things in other people that we cannot find in ourselves. We want others to complete us, validate us, or make us feel loved. However, when we connect with our own essence, we realize that we don't need external validation to feel complete. Love and connection are already within us, waiting to be expressed in the world. True connection with others begins when we can actually connect with ourselves. When we are able to be authentic, without fear of rejection or judgment, we begin to attract deeper, more meaningful relationships. These relationships are not based on dependence or need, but on a healthy and balanced exchange of energy. And as you begin to free yourself from the bonds of ego and insecurities, you open yourself to unconditional love. This love is not based on conditions or expectations, but on a full acceptance of the other as they are. And this applies to all relationships in your life, from the closest to the most distant. When we allow ourselves to love without reservation, without fear of what the other can take or give us, we are living in alignment with our true essence. This is one of the greatest gifts of spiritual awakening, the ability to connect with others in a genuine way, without the need to control or manipulate, but simply being and allowing others to be too. Instead of waiting for others to change, spiritual awakening teaches us that by changing our own perception and energy, the relationships around us become more harmonious and deeper. Change begins within us and is reflected in the world. By working on our own transformation, we are in fact transforming the world around us. Now breathe deeply and realize that with each step you take on your awakening journey, you are more connected to your true essence and the universe. And in doing so, you begin to create deeper connections, not only with others, but with everything around you. As we continue on the journey of spiritual awakening, one of the most valuable lessons we learn is the art of allowing. Life, with all its complexities and challenges, is not something we must control, but something we must learn to flow with. When we try to control situations, people, or even our emotions, we move away from our true self and harmony with the universe. Spiritual awakening invites us to let go of this control and surrender to the natural flow of life. This surrender does not mean passivity, but rather an active acceptance of the present moment. It means trusting that no matter what is happening, everything is happening for a reason. Every experience, good or bad, brings with it a lesson that helps us grow, evolve, and get closer to our true essence. The flow of life is like a river. When we try to swim against the current, we spend a lot of energy and feel exhausted, often without results. But when we learn to relax and surrender to the flow of the river, we see that we can follow the current much more easily, finding beauty and learning along the way. Likewise, spiritual awakening teaches us to trust that we are being guided, that the forces of the universe are working on our behalf, even when things don't go the way we expect. In our lives, we often try to shape the world around us according to our expectations. We want things to be a certain way, for people to act a certain way, for circumstances to align with our desires. But in doing so, we disconnect from the present, from what is being offered at the moment, and put ourselves in a position of resistance. It's important to remember that what happens in our lives is not out of our control, but our reaction to it is. What we can control is our attitude towards situations. Spiritual awakening does not mean that we will not have challenges, but rather that we will learn to deal with them in a lighter, more fluid way, without resisting. When we accept that life has its ups and downs, its victories and losses, we are able to live with more peace and confidence. The art of allowing is deeply connected with the concept of surrender. Surrender is not about giving up, but about trusting that the universe is always working in our favor. It is believing that life, with all its difficulties, is leading us to our highest destiny, to our greatest spiritual fulfillment. When we allow things to happen, without forcing or trying to control every detail, we create the space for the magic of the universe to manifest in our lives. In many spiritual traditions, trust in the flow of life is seen as one of the greatest teachings. This is not a passive act, but a daily practice of opening yourself to what is to come, knowing that each moment is an opportunity to grow and learn. As you allow, you begin to see that suffering often arises from trying to control the uncontrollable, from wanting things to be different than they are. When you accept life as it is, you find peace in the midst of the storm. This trust is also reflected in our relationships. Creating deep connections with others is not about manipulating or controlling others, but about allowing others to be who they truly are. We often expect others to act in a certain way or meet our expectations, but this creates resistance and blocks the natural flow of the relationship. When we learn to allow, to accept others with their flaws and imperfections, we create a space of authenticity and mutual understanding, which strengthens bonds and connections. A very effective practice for cultivating the art of allowing is meditation. When meditating, you learn to observe your thoughts and emotions without identifying with them, without judging them or trying to control them. You just observe, let go, and allow the mind to calm down. This process of letting go is a reflection of what must be done in all aspects of life. Letting go of expectations, letting go of the need for control, and allowing things to unfold naturally. When you begin to surrender to the flow of life, you begin to realize that the universe conspires in your favor. Opportunities appear at the right time, the right people cross your path, and you find yourself in places where you can learn and grow. Life becomes smoother, more fluid, because you are no longer trying to fight what is. You are instead aligning yourself with what is happening around you. Spiritual awakening teaches us that by allowing life to take its course, we open ourselves to new experiences, new opportunities for learning and growth. Life doesn't need to be forced or rushed. Everything happens in its right time. And when we learn to trust that time, life becomes richer, deeper, and more meaningful. Allowing also means giving room for change. Change is a fundamental aspect of spiritual awakening. There is no growth without change. And when we resist change, we remain stuck in the past in old ways of thinking and acting. But when we allow change to happen, we open ourselves to expansion, new possibilities, and true evolution. Now ask yourself, where in your life are you resisting the natural flow of things? Where are you trying to control something that is beyond your control? How can you begin to practice the art of allowing, surrendering to the process of life with confidence and serenity? True freedom comes when we learn to trust the flow of life, to surrender our fears and insecurities, and allow our journey to unfold naturally. In doing so, we free ourselves from the weight of resistance and come into harmony with the universe. The last step of spiritual awakening is understanding that deep down everything is interconnected. Everything we see, feel, and experience is part of a great divine plan, a continuous flow of energy that transcends the limitations of time and space. In this space of deep connection, we become aware that the separation we often feel between ourselves and others, between ourselves and the universe, is just an illusion created by the mind. When we allow ourselves to live in harmony with the universe and with everything that exists, we realize that we are not alone on this journey. We are all an integral part of this vast universe, all searching for the same truth, the same love. Spiritual awakening leads us to recognize that, regardless of circumstances, we are all linked by a common and universal energy. This teaches us to see others with more compassion and understanding that each person we encounter is also on their own journey of awakening, facing their own struggles and challenges. This understanding leads us to unconditional love. Unconditional love is not something that is only given to certain people or in certain situations. It is a love that arises from the recognition of our unity with all beings. This love is not based on expectations or conditions, but is a pure expression of our divine essence. Spiritual awakening helps us cultivate this deep, expansive love that goes beyond the limitations of the ego and conditioned beliefs. Unconditional love does not mean we must accept harmful or abusive behavior. Instead, it teaches us to love ourselves enough to set healthy boundaries, to honor our own truth, and to practice self-care. Unconditional love is, above all, a love that comes from within, which allows us to see others without judgment, without criticism, and without the need for control. It is free, fluid, and full of acceptance because when we love unconditionally, we are also recognizing our own perfection and divinity. As you progress in your spiritual awakening, your connection with others becomes deeper and more meaningful. You begin to see others as reflections of yourself, and as you do, the pain of separation and loneliness begins to fade. You realize that when you cultivate unconditional love for yourself and others, you create a vibrational field of peace and harmony around you that attracts more love, more light, and more understanding. However, spiritual awakening also teaches us that true connection is not based on perfection, but on accepting imperfections. No one is perfect, and we are all constantly evolving. When we open ourselves to this truth, we can create more authentic relationships based on mutual understanding and reciprocal support, rather than on judgment or expecting others to be something they are not. Relationships that flourish from unconditional love are ones in which authenticity and vulnerability can be expressed freely without fear of rejection. Unconditional love ultimately leads us to greater freedom. When we stop seeking external approval and start loving and accepting ourselves fully, we become free to live our truth. This freedom is not an absence of commitment or responsibility, but a freedom that comes from the place of knowing that we are whole, complete, and worthy of love exactly as we are. This deep connection with others also helps us understand our connection to the universe. When we see others as a part of ourselves, when we love unconditionally, we open ourselves to the experience of oneness with the whole. Everything that exists, from the stars in the sky to the small flowers in the field, is interconnected, and each human being is a unique manifestation of this great cosmic network. Spiritual awakening reveals this fundamental truth to us, showing us that we are all parts of a greater whole, united by an invisible but deeply present force. The practice of unconditional love, both for oneself and for others, leads us to true inner peace. As we free ourselves from ego expectations, control, and limitations, we connect more deeply with our divine essence and universal love. This is the true purpose of spiritual awakening, to become beings of light, love, and peace, living in harmony with the universe and all the beings that inhabit it. Now, as a final practice, I invite you to reflect on the connection you have with others. How can you cultivate more unconditional love in your relationships? How can you allow yourself to be more authentic and loving with yourself? Breathe deeply and imagine yourself surrounded by golden light, the energy of universal love flowing freely in your heart and expanding to others. Feel connected to all beings without distinction, and know that by loving unconditionally, you are fulfilling your deepest purpose on the spiritual journey. In our next video, we will continue this journey of spiritual awakening, exploring more deeply the topic spiritual awakening. Everything is energy. Discover how to control energy, a complete guide. Stay connected to your essence and allow yourself to flow with the universe.